Hello and welcome to Future Leaders in Philadelphia. I'm your host, Derek Sawyer. We bring this show so we can highlight young people in our community, along with local organizations who are striving to make Philadelphia a better place. Our focus is our community's next generation of leaders. Our guests today come from the nonprofit group Youth's Undeniable Knowledge. This group began in 2015 to help at-risk youth gain coping skills and develop life goals. The staff at Youth Undeniable Knowledge serve as mentors for students and find ways to connect to the community with their local schools. Here to tell us more about the program, about Youth Undeniable Knowledge, Chief Operating Officer and Program Co-Founder Tremaine Attaway, and Community Ambassador and Program Co-Founder Herbert Wilkins. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
how you
Mr.
guys
Sawyer.
making out?
Well, how about yourself?
Excellent.
Good.
Great.
So tell us how this program began.
Well, I'll give you a little background on our organization, Mr. Sawyers. I'm glad you asked that. Youth Undeniable Knowledge Program was developed many years ago, actually. It was developed by some males who went to Cheney University. At Cheney University, we kind of developed our own group name. Mm-hmm. It was the Yuck Dudes. Now, when you hear the name Yuck Dudes, you may say, well, that's negative. But the reason why we considered ourselves to be the Yuck Dudes was because we considered ourselves to be young, underestimated kings.
Nice.
So at the time of going throughout our own tracks at Cheney University, mm-hmm. we would talk, conversate, and build. So in return, our friendship was harnessed, and then it grew. So in return, we all graduated Cheney University. We went all into our respective fields, and it was, let's say, 2015. Mm-hmm. As a group, we usually get together and conversate for our birthdays and things of the sort, you know. We actually went on a trip up to Connecticut and met with one of our brothers, Brother Red, as we called him. Okay? And while we were there, we had a sit-down dinner. It was about 3 of our birthdays. And we discussed, as a group, why don't we come together and put together our minds to develop an organization to assist the community? Because majority of us are working in the community, right, from behavioral health, mm-hmm. social work, and even some youth development. So at that point, that's where Youth Undeniable Knowledge Program was developed. 2015.
That's huge. So
one of the things to kind of piggyback on what Herbert said, you know, from our experience of working in the human services field for so long, we always wanted to go beyond what our call of duty was, per se. Right. You know, however, it may have been restricted because, you know, you're working for other people. You know, so collectively, like he stated, we've come together and tried to figure out how can we continue to, you know, engage the youth, you know, after school, mm-hmm. you know, and outside of our regular 9 to 5 hours.
Right.
So that was one of the other components of us coming together and starting this organization.
Great. So what would you say your mission statement is?
Well, let me give you the whole overview. Youth Undeniable Knowledge is a program that promotes self-efficacy and underserved youth through comprehensive and holistic programming. It's designed to enhance and empower families and communities. So we're seeking to change the paradigm of inner city youth through life skills immersion, career competency development, and post-secondary planning. And our motto actually is different directions and different destinies. Purpose is we all come from different walks of life, you know, all over the world, all different parts of the city, you know, and at some point in time, if we engage in communication, we'll realize that our paths have crossed at some point in time, and we have more in common than what we know.
Right, right.
You know, so that's one of the mission, vision, and motto.
What type of people do you target?
We actually target youth between the ages of 13 to 17. Mm-hmm. In this particular background, we take youth from other schools when we have specific conferences that we have quarterly at our school that we're on site, which is Martin Luther King High School.
Okay.
And we also open our services to students who may be past 17, but may still be in high school.
Gotcha.
So we don't turn them away either.
Okay, good. So if one of those youth watching the show right now,
Yes, sir.
how would they become part of the program?
Well, it's actually what we call an intake packet.
Okay.
So through the intake packet, it has different consents that they will take home to their guardian, and then also they have portions for them to also fill out. Okay.
And to add to that, the students that we service the most right now are at Martin Luther King, because that's the school that we partner with.
Gotcha.
However, our workshops that we have throughout the year is open to the city. So whatever students are willing to come, ages 13 to 17, and they're focused on the 3 components of our program: life skills immersion, career competency development, post-secondary planning.
Are you looking to partner with other schools?
We would love to.
Absolutely.
Gotcha. Because I think that would expand your program, right?
Yes, sir.
What would you say they get out of this experience of being part of your program? What do they get out of that? When they come to your program, they come in there and they're trying to learn some of these skills you're talking about. What do they leave with?
This is one thing I would say, Mr. Sawyer, and I'm glad you asked that. One of the huge things that our youth actually will leave with or encounter once they come into our program are respectable males and also females who have professional background, who also what we consider real models. So we meet them where they're at. So we're caring, we come from the community also, and we also have a vested interest in their future.
Right.
So we understand that as we get older, that we have to plant some seeds in order for them to grow. As you see with a lot of the negativity going on in our community, we believe that we're a vessel to kind of minimize or attack some of the negativity. Mr. Tremaine and myself are from the same neighborhood in West Philadelphia. You know the song West Philadelphia, born and raised. So we're childhood, okay?
Right.
So because of that, we have a chemistry that's impeccable. When we start out in elementary school, went on to middle school, high school, and then also college. We were roommates at Cheney University. So because of our story, we help the youth understand that even though you may come from a troubled background or humble beginnings, you can make it once you put your best foot forward. And connect with people who are your friends forever.
Right. So I was looking at your website, and it says you provide mentoring. How does that work?
Well, the mentoring works, it's a couple ways. If you're already a student, once again, we partner with Martin Luther King. So the students who are in the actual program, they'll have what we call mentors or youth development specialists.
Right.
You know, however, we have another component called therapeutic mentoring, where those are the youth that may have some troubles. You know, maybe some trauma, maybe just not understanding how to deal with certain things in life. They will even contact myself, Brother Herb, any of the other brothers, and then we'll send home a therapeutic mentoring packet, and that way we can begin with the interactions.
Right.
And just to kind of piggyback off what Brother Tremaine was stating, we actually brought this component to the organization because we observe within the community, because we're both clinicians. We've been working in the community for over 19 years, providing, you know, clinical services. We observe that a lot of our youth are traumatized.
Right.
A lot of our youth need that help. They need guidance. They need father figures. They need real models who are there to be consistent, help them, and also help them understand that you can fulfill your goals in life.
Right. So you're a nonprofit, right?
Yes, sir.
Someone wants to donate. How do they donate?
Well, we have a we can receive donations through PayPal.
Okay.
Through
On your website?
on the website.
What's
It's
the
actually on the website, undeniableyouth.com.
Gotcha. PayPal.
So we can receive donations that way. If we're having events, you know, you can come and donate that way. Because, you know, our events, like I stated earlier, our events are open to the public.
Right.
So, you know, whoever would like to come in and donate, you know, of course we welcome that. You know, However, you know, just to put it out there, you know, we fund our program ourselves.
Wow.
You know, there's about 8 to 10 of us.
Okay.
You know, everybody works, everybody has families, but we find a way to, you know, make our events work. Why? Because it's beneficial to the community. Why? Because it's beneficial to the youth that we serve. You know, we want people to understand that we're the middle ground of bridging that gap between the youth and the older people. You know, because youth had told us adults don't listen, and you know, well, no, let me change that. Youth had told us adults don't hear us, and the adults are like, well, the kids don't listen anyway. So we're that middle ground to kind of get both of them to connect.
Great. Well, I want to thank you both for coming on the show. You heard them say they need donations, so make sure you donate. When we come back, we'll talk to some alumni of the Youth Undeniable Knowledge. Please stay tuned.
This is Kevin, and Kevin could use some kindness. Here's Ian. He could be that man. Ian chooses to be inconsiderate and not hold the door for Kevin, and in turn, Kevin suffers. Kindness may be a choice, but doing so is always the right one. So if Ian can make the right choice, you can too.
Welcome back to Future Leaders in Philadelphia. I'm your host, Derek Sawyer. Today we're featuring Youth's Undeniable Knowledge. This nonprofit group mentors inner city youth, helping them develop skills for education, career, and life. Please welcome two alumni from Youth's Undeniable Knowledge, Kiara Lynch and Lorenz Butler. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Hi.
Doing all right?
I'm doing fine. How you doing?
Alumni, huh?
Yeah.
So how long have you gotten out of the program?
I've been out of the program for like 2 years.
2 years?
Yeah.
I still stay connected, but I graduated in 2018.
2018? Oh,
Yes,
so you
sir.
just graduated.
Yeah.
So what would you say inspired you to be part of this program?
Well, honestly, I needed volunteer service, so it was an opportunity to get into it. It was like 8 hours every Saturday, so I joined it. But then once I seen it, I was like in love with it, so I just kept going.
I say the brotherhood and the love that's there,
Right.
the family camaraderie, you know. So that's why I stuck with it.
What opportunities were you able to experience from being part of the program?
A lot of learning opportunities. They teach you a lot of things that most schools don't teach you, like how to fill out an application, what to wear to an interview, what not to wear to an interview, and stuff like that. And they teach you how to network, how to talk to people. They introduce you to people and how to plan for the future, and you know, not just 5 years from now, but have a goal for next week even.
So you've been out 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you doing now?
Well, right now I'm working and saving towards tattoo school. I was recently in LaSalle, actually. So.
Oh, my favorite school. So you're coming back?
I do plan on coming back, but
So you're an artist.
yeah, I draw a lot, and with the support of the program, I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do. And talking with my mentor, Mr. Jermaine Attaway, I figured out that tattoo school is something I actually wanted to do. And
Right.
you know, not a lot of people support that. It's not a typical thing to do, but the program.
I support it.
Oh, thank you. The program gave me like a little push to like do what I really want to do. So.
Great. So what are you doing now that you left the program?
Well, I'm inside the Army, and
Army?
Yeah.
What happened to the Air Force?
It's not my path, and then right now I'm a manager at Chick-fil-A.
10 more points, you could have been in the Air Force.
No, I got high, trust me.
No, it's just
It taught me leadership. Really,
Yes.
that's the goal. Like she said, communication with others. One thing that we don't do, we don't know how to communicate properly. We
Right.
fail at talking to people because you never know what people grew up with and experience they went. So certain words or things might trigger trauma.
Right,
So just the assessment of people and how you approach people is the thing I took in the most. So that's a big factor in there.
So what would you say is your strongest leadership skill?
Communication, actually. I believe every relationship is built off communication
That's
and
right.
trust.
Yep.
If you can't communicate with me, then I can't trust you. And if I can't trust you, I won't communicate with you. So that's my strongest asset.
Yours?
I would say the same thing. And being
Communication?
open-minded too.
Open-minded?
Because, you know, some people wouldn't be the person you would expect to help you. Like, just being nice and friendly to anybody, you never know who could help you get to the position that you need to get to, who knows who. So just being out there and saying hello even is just enough to get you to the next door that you need.
That's right. So if you were talking to someone right now about why they should join this program, what would you say to them? Here's your chance to sell it.
Okay, to sell it, if you want some good food, come eat with Yuck. But no, seriously, Yuck is another family and support system. Like, if you need somebody to talk to for anything, not just like jobs or schools or whatever you want to do, whatever you need to talk about, they're there for you. They'll support you with whatever decision you want to make. And even if they don't agree with that decision, they'll let you know, but without breaking you down and saying,
Right.
don't do that.
Right.
They'll tell you they don't think it's the best option, but if that's the option you want to do, they'll support you and they'll help you in any way they can.
Why is that important?
Because kids feel like that they can't do certain things, they have to do things that their parents want them to do or what the world expects them to do and not really what they want to do. And to be where you want to get in life, you have to do what you want to do, and this program supports that. That's why they say different directions and stuff.
Mhm.
It's just good to push people where they want to go and not to where you think they need to go.
Right.
Oh man,
Riz,
I ain't got a good pitch. I just say,
well, you just tell your story. That's
well,
that
I
could
mean,
be a good pitch.
like I always say to me, and just brotherhood. People in our generation we grew up in is different. I wasn't, there in the older generation, but one thing that we're losing now is the sense of camaraderie,
Yes.
the sense of love, and the sense of brotherhood. Family killing family, people turning each other, people that you grew up with. So it's more of, if you're looking for like stability, family, that extra support and that extra love, you can definitely do this because when I was going through high school, I was going through a lot, and these people were like every day there with me. They came to my house, like they was
Right,
there.
right.
There was no, people don't put their time and effort in the youth no more.
Mhm.
They did that, so it just woke me up and it just opened a lot of doors. So I mean, if you're just looking for that, this is the best place to be.
That is another thing. They make sure they check on you regularly. It'd be days that you don't expect nobody to text you, and you get a text from life coach like, "Hey, how are you?"
Right.
And it'd be when you need it.
When you, what was the one thing that you enjoyed most out of the program, other than the food?
Just the family part of
Family.
it, the family that comes with it, the love. Like when we see each other, it's like being at a family reunion. Like,
Right.
cause I'm alumni, but I still come out to any events that I can. So it's like just being there, and being able to support and being able to share your story
Right.
and somebody that like understand it in a different way. It's just there's a
Well, I
lot of
wanna-
family support.
Great. I want to thank both of you for coming on the show and sharing your story because it's important for other people to hear about this program so they can participate also.
Mhm.
We're going to take another quick break, but when we come back, I'll be sitting with a young member of this group. We'll be right back.
surrounding myself in this environment has helped me learn everything about production.
I get to meet new people. I get to grow more experience inside the studio.
LTV is the greatest thing that has ever happened to me.
You know, my forte is really on air, obviously, but being well-rounded is a pretty important asset too.
We like to be mean to each other.
Well, we all come to LaSalle TV mainly because the Basil's alarm goes off so often.
Yeah, so I'm like a business major. I got lost on my way down here. I'm a little confused to what this is, but it seems interesting. I'm kind of liking it. Yeah.
It's just, LTV is just like a big family here. I got all my brothers and sisters with me because we are family. I don't know the words of the song.
Welcome back to Future Leaders of Philadelphia. I'm your host, Derek Sawyer. Today I've been talking with members of the nonprofit group Youth's Undeniable Knowledge. This organization provides inner city youth with life and career skills through mentorship and workshops. Here to tell us what it's like to be a member of Youth's Undeniable Knowledge, we have Alejandra Samuels. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Excellent. You been doing good?
Yep. Yes, sir.
Tell me how you gotten involved with Yuck.
So, actually, I used to go to school in Plymouth Whitemarsh, and I ended up moving to the city, which was a shock. It was a different
Culture shock.
environment for me.
Yeah.
And my first year, I was actually looking for a counselor, and I went the wrong way. And I found Mr. Tremaine, and he started talking to me. I was like, whoa.
Slow down.
Whoa. I got an intake packet, and I ended up coming back the following Friday for one of the workshops, and I really enjoyed the environment and what they were talking about. It was things you don't get to hear in your regular class environment, so it kind of encouraged me to come back, and that's how I continued in the program and built relationships with the mentors.
Great. What skills have you developed from being part of the program?
One, I would say knowing that I am my own brand, for one. They teach that a lot, representing your brand. When you walk around, everyone looks at you and sees what you're about. So if you're walking around cursing, you're walking around with a bad attitude, walking around being disrespectful, that's how people see you and see your brand. If you're walking around with a positive attitude, helping other people, encouraging people, talking about what you want to do, you don't know who's listening. There could be a college scout sitting over there, and it's like, hey, I like your attitude, here's a scholarship opportunity. It could be someone with a job. The way you represent yourself is the way people see you. So that's one thing that's really helped me change the way I walk and talk.
That's important because every day is a job interview.
Yes, yes it is.
So tell me what is your brand? How would you describe your brand?
It's a great question. I would say my brand is, fun. It's energetic, but at the same time, laid back. I try to keep myself in a position where people don't see my full personality, because it could be a shock to some people's systems. But at the same time, I want people to see that I have leadership capabilities, but I also know how to follow. Can't lead until you learn how to follow.
That's right.
But another thing is I want people to know that I'm not all serious. I'm not cold stone wall. I'm flexible, but I'll do what you need me to do when you need me to do it.
Gotcha. So you mentioned the word leadership. What would you say is your strongest leadership trait?
That's a great question again. Strongest leadership trait? Darn. I'd have to say putting other people before myself.
Okay.
It's one thing actually.
So servant leadership.
Yeah. Mr. Tremaine had to teach me how to get a hold of it, because at first I put everything before myself, and it wasn't the best thing for me. Like, I'd give everybody everything I had, and then I'd be sitting there like,
nothing left for yourself.
yeah. But he said it's okay to say no.
Yep.
It's okay to keep a little for yourself. You can't help others if you don't have anything for you.
True.
Got to keep some gas in my tank. So he told me that, and I think that's something I do well. I do help other people before myself for the most part when they need it. Because sometimes you have to let people do things on their own. But
So you're still involved in the program now, right?
yes.
What grade are you in?
12th.
12th. So you're going to LaSalle next year?
No, I'm sorry.
No?
I'm sorry.
Where are you going?
I'm going to Brockport University. It's
Brock-
in New York.
Got you.
Yeah.
Wow. I just knew you were going to say LaSalle.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. So what do you expect this program to help you accomplish as you move forward to going to college?
Well, let's see. For one, I'm not gonna just slack, because I used to be a very bad procrastinator. And like even today, the first thing I asked is if I could finish my homework. So that's not something that's usual,
Okay. Time
or at
management.
least it wasn't.
Right.
But that's something that's gonna help me in my future, at least, because being on my own and not having people like right behind me telling me do this, do that, do this, is something that'll help me later on. I'd have to say that perception, that's another thing they gave me. Can't judge everybody. You don't
Right.
know who they
That's
are,
right.
what they have, what they're carrying, what they've been through, the ghosts that are following them. You don't know.
Right.
And so you can't just go off of everybody. It's just judging a book by its cover. You can't do it.
Right.
You can read a summary and it's terrible. That book could be great.
Great. Well, I want to thank you for sharing your story, coming on the show. There's somebody out there that needs to hear that. So again, thank you, and good luck in your success in
Thank you.
college. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have today. I'd like to thank Tremaine Attaway and all my guests from Undeniable Knowledge for being here. If you would like to learn more about the organization, please visit Facebook page at yuck.com/Youth Undeniable Knowledge. You can also check them out at Instagram at undeniable_youth. I'm your host, Derek Sawyer. Thank you for watching Future Leaders in Philadelphia, where we believe investing in youth is investing in our future.